Well, some people think I can do it all, and actually I'm not afraid to tackle just about anything, like cutting a car in two and putting it back together. The truth is, I'm a jack of all trades and a master of none, or some, or a few, whatever. This time I'm making a trailer to tow behind the 914 street race car and haul all my junk. So here's some facts about me. I'm a cheap SOB. And I like to make things myself. Sometimes I'm bad at it. But usually they work fine. But they don't always or ever look very good. And I have some good ideas. But I don't execute them very well. So all that said, I'm making a 957 trailer. Or half of a 914. And its purpose will be to haul tires, tools, parts, chairs, easy up, ice chests, cameras, helmets, so on and so on. And more importantly, it will keep everything organized, or somewhat, so that each track day I won't spend 3 days prepping and loading the 914 with stuff, and still more stuff. So I started with the back half of the donor car that I used to fix the front half of the LS-powered race car. I had already cut out the floorboard and the firewall that was already there. And that's for sale if anybody, you guys out on the West Coast, are interested. Well, that left the firewall back. And my friend had already done this, so I knew it could be done. I was going to leave the trunk as is and mount the tires where the engine would go, but they are just a bit too fat for that. And I wanted to make the trunk huge. So I decided to mount the tires in front of the firewall. So this bar is a roll bar mistake. Remember fact number 1? Yeah, I hate to waste stuff. I'm bending it back a bit, and another bend, and pretty much the right spot. You have to see it for my eyes, of course. Well, I'm doing my best to make it symmetrical, but it's fighting me. So I went as far as covering up the firewall because it was cut crooked, and it was messing with my mind, man. The next was cutting out some plates to box in what was left of the frame. It's double wall 16 gauge or thereabouts, and the plates is 3/16, maybe a quarter, but it's stout. So I made templates out of cardboard, and then I just cut them out using the plasma cutter. That's always fun. One of the tubes of my leftover roll bar was inserted into the frame, and the other not so lucky, so I welded the tube in the frame as far as I could get for added strength, and then make the patch around it. The other one's easier, it's just a thick plate to weld stuff to. Well, both of them are. Alright. So, after lots of hammering, sanding, and so on, I was able to get a pretty decent fit here. So here we're welding on the caps, and this is the driver's side. I have to work around that one bar, but other than that, it worked pretty well. And 2 layers of 16 gauge are a little harder to deal with, but once they get them hot, tap them together with a hammer and burn them in. It worked good. And then, of course, you have to clean all the ugly out, because I'm not the best welder, but it's going to be strong. So then I took time in lining up the center of the car so I'd make sure I can get the tongue somewhat close. Alright, so this is what I got so far. I've got a pole running down the middle of the car. The center of the top of there is marked. The center of that, which is basically the
trunk lid, the same with this, and I got lines on each side so I can line up the side, the top of the 1.5 inch pipe there. And a plumb bob down the middle of that. You see it? There it is. And then, because these pipes aren't perfectly symmetrical, yeah, I probably should do those over, but I won't.
So next I cut out long braces for the left and right and tack them in. One more double checking and it was ready to burn in with a bunch of wire and gas. Have you ever had this happen? You get everything you need, crawl into your hole, and you find out that you forgot something. And then you do it again. And then you forget to turn on the welder. Anyways, finally got the welding done. Well, I still have some things to do, but it's ready to test. So I pulled it out of the shop with the tractor, and then I hooked it up to the race car. It already had a hitch. One of the previous owners had already towed a trailer to the track with it. Well, I made it a bit long, but that helps with tight turns and long pulls, and especially backing up. I don't have the footage of that, but let's just say it was easier than I thought. Okay, so that's part one. What's left? Things to do. I need to make a 1-inch brace on the passenger side from the plate to the tire rack tube. Then I need to make two 2-foot or so braces from the plate to the rear of the 2-inch square tube. And I need to make 4 connectors from the long braces to the tire rack front and rear tubes, just to kind of lock things in place. And I still need to drill 2 holes to hold the hitch piece that's on the front. I need to make a lock for the tires on the front there, so that they won't fall out or get stolen or whatever. And I need to wire the trailer with a loom that I bought. I need to fill in the firewall or remove it and make a flat piece. Then I want to lower the trunk by either cutting or dropping it approximately 1 foot. There's just a whole bunch of space in there.
Not even gone too far.
I need to make an engine cover to seal off the trunk compartment, the top portion, that there is no engine lid. And I need to clean up the paint the body, of course. You might have noticed I need a new tail light. And there's a few places where I cut a little bit overzealously and I need to weld those back up. I'd love to get some ideas from all of you. What would you do if you had a track trailer / vacation trailer? You never know what I'm going to use it for. Comment below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell for future updates and videos. Thanks a bunch. Bye.